Scott in Perth saw Madagascar with my 3-year-old Charlie. We all loved it. Charlie loved the zebra. I love the king of the lemurs. We ought to talk about Madagascar.
Should we play a clip quickly?
Go on.
Here's a clip.
What a day. I mean, just really, I mean, I tell you, it just doesn't get any better than this, you know? Oh! It just did. Even the star's out. Not gonna find a star like that in the wild.
Helicopter.
Marty, buddy, listen. Everybody has days when they think the grass might be greener somewhere else.
Alex, look at me. I'm 10 years old. My life is half over. And I don't even know if I'm black with white stripes or white with black stripes.
Is that about to sing Hakuna Matata there?
No, they aren't. They're not going to burst into that. Funnily enough, you know, you were saying in that interview with Chris Rock, it's an old-fashioned kind of film, and it does have an old-fashioned sort of flavour to it. The interesting thing about Madagascar, I have to say, I was predisposed to dislike because I've got one of my kids has got a DVD. I think it must be Shark Tale, in which the trailer for Madagascar is at the beginning of the DVD, and you can't fast forward through it. You can't skip over it. So I mean,
it's used as a very annoying trick on many occasions.
It's really, really aggravating. So I was predisposed to hate it. And of course, it's actually, you know, it's rather sweet. It's very gentle. It's not, I mean, it's a lot better than Shark Tale, which I thought was a real duffer and was one of those films which absolutely missed its audience by, on the one hand, attempting to do a whole lot of grown-up movie gags about Goodfellas and all that sort of stuff, and on the other hand, not having enough stuff to entertain the kids. And Shark Tale, I think, was a bad film. This is a return to form, at least a partial return to form. It's sweet-natured. It's quite gentle in its humour. There was a review in America by Roger Ebert that said it's almost impossible to reconcile the sort of the low-key nature of the film with the ridiculous hoo-ha and the bandwagon, you know, the promotional bandwagon for when the thing was actually released. Because in America, they had to have a very, very big opening weekend. It's all this to do with you open summer movies if they don't take a $20 trillion in the first, you know.
I think it's Humpty Thrumpty.
Humpty Thrumpty, is it? Yeah, it used to be $20 trillion, but now it's Humpty Thrumpty. So there was an awful lot of hoo-ha about it. And of course, the film itself is actually quite okay. Yes, it's very sort of sheeny visuals, as is always the case with the CGI. The lion's mane looks particularly fantastic with every single hair beautifully detailed. And I have to say, as a nerdy person, I did occasionally look at it and go, gosh, they've done very good computer numbers on that water. Wow, that water looks really good. And wow, that hair's really impressive. Because those are the things that are very, very difficult to do. Skin tones, hair and water are very tough. For the rest of the time, however, it's a sort of old-fashioned story about these animals who are in a zoo. They go off into the wild. When they're in the wild, the gag is they realise they don't know anything about being in the wild. And the lion suddenly resorts to type, and having been fed steaks all the time that he was in the zoo, suddenly realises that steaks is actually his friend, primarily his best friend, the zebra. It's funny how many of these cartoons get down to this food chain thing. I mean, you remember the whole thing in Shark Tale was trying to get the shark not to eat other fishes because fish are our friends. There's some of that in Finding Nemo as well. I mean, the food chain...
It's all vegetarian propaganda.
Well, it's not vegetarian strictly because in at least in Madagascar, it seems to be okay to eat fish. It's whichever animal has been deemed by this particular cartoon to be cuddly is not allowed to be on the menu, and everything else kind of is. Because in Finding Nemo, eating fish is a really, really big deal. So, but it's fine. I don't think it's brilliant. I think it's really entertaining. I think it plays very young, and it's quite honest in the way in which it plays young. I think that young kids will love it. I mean, I'm going to take my 4-year-old, my 6-year-old over the weekend. I'm sure they'll really, really enjoy it. It's very sweet-natured, and it does, you know, has got a beautiful look to it. Sacha Baron Cohen does this sort of Robin Williams light impression as the king of the lemurs, which is obviously, you know, he obviously did a lot of free-form improvisation, and they've animated around him, and because he does have a capacity for accents and voices, which is, you know, obviously very dexterous.
Is it audibly Sacha Baron Cohen?
I thought it was, yeah, but I mean that's simply because, I mean, I don't know how many other people would automate, because he doesn't sound like Ali G. He sounds like Sacha Baron Cohen doing, you know, one of those Sacha Baron Cohen character voices. But it's funny, you know, it's not Robin Williams, but it is funny. And so overall, I would say 6 or 7 out of 10, particularly good for the young kids. Interesting if you're like me, you're a vegetarian who eats fish, because it shares exactly
your hypocrisy.
My hypocrisy, yeah. Yes. Well, I figure if they can't be bothered to get out of the water and onto the land where all the movies and cool stuff is happening, then frankly, they deserve to get eaten.